What's up, team? Hope you're doing well. Trying something new. Thought I would do a video for my newsletter this week and just tell you everything and show some pictures along the way while I'm just telling you what God's doing here in South Africa. First and foremost, thank you for all your prayers and support. None of this is possible without you. And so this past month in July, one of my good friends got married. I was in my first African wedding. So that was a lot of fun. You can take a look there, and just a lot of differences. One big one is that African weddings are actually it's almost the reversal. When the bride comes down, it's more of the celebration, and then the reception is more of it's more calm and more just about speeches. They do speech after speech after speech, and so you'll be there for well over 8 hours. The wedding was supposed to start at 10 o'clock in the morning. Actually didn't start till 11:30, and then they didn't even start dancing until like 6 or 7 at night. And so just a lot of big differences there, but it was a lot of fun. I had to dance down the aisle, made a fool of myself, so that was great. And so we also started back on campus this week, and it's been a lot of fun. It was tough getting back into it the first week, so this is week 3 now, starting on Monday, August the 1st. And it's been great, though, just trying to catch up with all the students, see how their break went with the students who went on our winter camp back in June. And so it's been great. I've started 2 Bible studies, committed Bible studies. So we did Bible studies last semester, and it was just kind of knock on the door, hey, come if you want. But this is more of geared towards, hey, you seem like you're interested in growing in your relationship or learning more about who Jesus is. Tell me you're going to commit to an hour a week, along with meeting with God daily, for 10 or 15 minutes. I kind of give them some verses to look at. And anyway, I got 9 guys who are in 2 separate Bible studies. One has 5, one has 4, and so we're doing that. Names are on the website. If you want to go and check that, you can. And so that's been a lot of fun. We moved our weekly meetings, which have usually been on Wednesday nights. We've moved those to Friday nights because of all the Bible studies that are going on, because I also do a discipleship group. So 3 nights out of the week are booked already. And so we combined our Friday night events, which is usually what we do to get students together in a big macro setting to hang out. And so we had that, and we combined it with our weekly evangelistic weekly meeting. And last week was the first week. We had about 40 people come, lower than normal, but it was good. We're also gearing it more towards young believers or people who have been coming around, and so a lot of fun doing that. And so that's kind of all on campus. The update coming up the next month, it will be a lot of the same. It will just be the Bible studies, the discipleship groups, kind of seeing if this Friday night event and weekly meeting combined work out. If not, we'll move the weekly meeting back to our normal time, which is Wednesday nights, and see how God uses that. And so you can be praying about that. So that's kind of what's going on campus at the moment. We've had about 9 to 10 professions of faith in the Lord as of thus far. And we'll see what else God's going to do through these Bible studies. Yandisa, who's on staff with me, is also leading 2. Nami is leading 1 with the girls, and Tuli is leading the other. And so that's kind of where we're at with that. And then lastly, I think people like to hear kind of what I'm learning, not only what God is doing through me, but kind of what God is doing in me. And it's more than I have time to tell you in just a couple of minutes here, but he's been doing a lot. I'll show you some of the things I'm reading, and I'll try to point out a few things. One thing I'm reading is called Radical. Really just taking back, it says taking back your faith from the American dream. And really, I don't even like using the word radical, and he ultimately says that in the book, because there is no other way to live the Christian life. The radical, it should be normal, but we've lost that within the American, and I'd say it's here in South Africa. It's all around the world in those cultures. We've lost that, and so really highly recommend that if you get a chance. a lot of my heart is kind of just poured out on these pages. I feel what God has taught me a lot throughout the past several years. And so another book I'm going through right now, it's called Let the Nations Be Glad. Really fundamental book on missions, on God's glory going to all nations, and in that our joy being satisfied in Him, and in that giving God glory. And so it's a slower read. John Piper's the author. He uses some big words, so you got to make sure you understand what he's saying, but really in-depth, really good theology on the Bible and what it says about missions. And so, then lastly, I'm taking my discipleship group through the master plan of evangelism. We are looking at that. It just has to deal with, I love it, just the genius behind Jesus in reaching the world, that He selected a few, and what was His whole method. And because Jesus didn't make a mistake. He didn't make a mistake in His ministry. He didn't make a mistake anywhere, for that fact. And so we want to look at, hey, what is Jesus's method in reaching the world? And we want to copy that. And so that book really is key, foundational, one of the best books there are out there in that, in reaching the world for Christ. And so, and lastly, we're going through Galatians, our discipleship group, just in the first chapter, and just showing in Galatians 1:10, kind of wanting it to be the key, especially when you're on the college campus, wanting that to be the key, which Galatians 1:10 says, am I now trying to win the approval of man or of God, or am I trying to please man? If I were trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. And as these temptations come at the guys I'm discipling, wanting that to be the kind of core foundation, and just look at what Paul was communicating to this struggling church in Galatia. And so we're really getting a lot out of that and enjoying it, me and the D group. So I wanted to let you know that I'm trying to come home in December, Lord willing, come home around December 22nd through January 5th. Purpose being, my brother's having a baby, so that's one. Two, my support is down, so I got to raise a little more support to get good quality time with the family. And if I don't come home this Christmas, I won't be able to come home until 2013, which I'm fine, but I'm trying to see if that's a possibility. The struggle is right now, I do need to raise about $1,000 extra, just one-time gifts. And so I know some of you have contributed already. I mentioned it in an email I sent last month, and so thank you for that. But just pray if there's any extra in giving. Pray to see if you could help me even get home. And so, so that's an update on what's going on. Feel free to ask questions. Leave a comment on if you enjoyed this better than the written newsletter updates. And so, thanks again for all your prayers and support. Stay connected through my website.